Where rich people actually invest their money. Have you ever noticed something strange? The richest people in the world almost never talk about where they invest. No detailed breakdowns. No step-by-step guides. No top 5 stocks to buy now. Just silence. And yet, their wealth keeps growing. Quietly. Consistently. Almost predictably. So the question isn't just how they make money. It's, where is their money actually going, when no one is watching? Because whatever they're doing, it's clearly not what most people are taught. And once you see it, you won't look at money the same way again. Let's jump into the pool of rich people. Level 1, the room you weren't supposed to see. The door closes softly. No noise. No announcement. Just a quiet shift in air pressure as it seals. Inside, there are no flashing stock tickers. No CNBC screen screaming about the next big trade. No one is talking about hot tips. Just a long table. Glass. Minimalist. And a handful of people who don't check prices, because they own the system that sets them. One man leans back, fingers steepled. Move 20 into infrastructure, he says. No debate. No hesitation. A woman across the table nods, already writing. No one asks, what's the return this week? Because they're not playing weeks. They're playing decades. And if you were expecting them to say, put it in stocks, you're already thinking too small. Level 2, the first lie you were taught. You were told something simple. Work hard. Save money. Invest in stocks. Wait. And eventually, wealth will come. That system works. But only to a point. Because the version of investing most people know is designed for participation, not control. Retail investors buy pieces of assets. Rich people buy ownership of systems. There's a difference. A massive one. One builds slow, linear growth. The other compounds power. And once you see where the wealthy actually place their money, you start to understand something uncomfortable. They're not just investing. They're positioning. Level 3, they don't chase returns, they build leverage. Most people ask, what's the return? Rich people ask, what does this give me access to? Because money, at a certain level, stops being about multiplication. It becomes about leverage. Leverage over time. Markets. People. Policy. Opportunity. A normal investor puts money into stocks and hopes they go up. A wealthy investor asks, if I put money here, what doors open? Because sometimes, the return isn't the profit. It's the position. And position prints money quietly. Level 4, the real asset class, controlled cash flow. Let's strip away the illusion. The wealthy are obsessed with one thing, predictable, controllable cash flow. Not hype. Not volatility. Not guesswork. They invest in assets that generate consistent income. Can be scaled. Can be controlled or influenced. This is why, they don't just buy stocks. They buy businesses. They don't just invest in real estate. They build portfolios of income-producing properties. They don't just put money in funds. They create structures that own the funds. Because when you control the source of income, you don't wait for returns. You decide them. Level 5, where the money actually goes. Now we get to the part no one explains properly. Here's where rich people actually invest. Not theory. Reality. 1. Private businesses. Not the stock market. Not public companies. Private businesses. Why? Because, no public scrutiny. Full control. Higher margins. Flexible strategy. A private business can be optimized, scaled, sold, or leveraged. And most importantly, it's invisible to the average person. While everyone watches stock charts, wealth is being built behind closed doors. 2. Real estate, but not the way you think. The average person buys a house. Maybe two. The wealthy build systems. They invest in apartment complexes, commercial buildings, warehouses, data centers. Assets that generate rent every month, regardless of market mood. But here's the real play. 3. Private equity and venture capital. This is where the real asymmetry lives. Before companies go public, before hype, before headlines, money is already flowing in. The wealthy invest early. They take calculated risks in startups, emerging industries, new technologies. And when one hits, it doesn't 2x. It 50x. 100x, sometimes more. But here's the key, they don't need all bets to win. Just a few. For ownership in systems, not just assets. This is subtle, but powerful. They invest in things that sit underneath the economy. Think, infrastructure. Energy systems. Supply chains. Platforms. Things the world runs on. Because when you own systems, you don't depend on trends. Trends depend on you. 5. Networks and access. This one isn't even labeled as investing, but it is. The wealthy invest heavily in relationships. Exclusive circles. Strategic partnerships. Because one introduction can unlock opportunities no amount of capital alone can. This is where deals happen. Quietly. Away from public view. Level 7, the strategy behind the strategy. At the highest level, investing becomes simple. Not easy. But simple. They follow 3 core principles. 1. Capital preservation comes first. They don't gamble. They protect downside aggressively. Because staying in the game is more important than winning fast. 2. Asymmetric bets only. Limited downside. Massive upside. They avoid balanced opportunities. They want skewed ones. Where risk is controlled, but reward is exponential. 3. Control ownership percentage. They would rather own 30% of something they control than 100% of something they don't. Because control dictates outcomes. And outcomes dictate wealth. Level 8, the truth most people won't like. Here's the uncomfortable part. You can't fully replicate what the ultra-wealthy do. Not yet. Because many of their opportunities require capital, access, credibility. But that doesn't mean you're locked out. It means you're at a different stage. And stages require different strategies. So the real question isn't, why don't I invest like them? It's, what part of their mindset can I apply right now? Because the shift begins here. Stop thinking like a participant. Start thinking like an owner. Even if it's small. Even if it's slow. Because the path to real wealth doesn't start with millions. It starts with a different lens. A different question. A different move. And one day, you won't be watching the table anymore. You won't be guessing where the money is going. You'll be sitting at it. Deciding where the money goes next. Quietly. Deliberately. Like they always have. And if you want to start thinking like this, consistently, make sure you subscribe. Because this channel isn't about hype. It's about understanding the game most people never see. And once you see it, you don't go back.